What's good, Ultimate Hoop San Antonio? I'm Pat.
Josh Martin here.
And we're back with episode 3. So, a great week 2. Fun games, great games. Just to recap that, we had Kingdom Come in the first game taking over Chaos. Ether in a blowout win against Outcast. And Velvet Thunder with the comeback win over New Star. So, the preview should be up. But I'll go ahead in this show and we're going to talk about power rankings based on, the week 2 results. So I guess we got to do like Drake and start at the bottom. Number 7, we've got Outcast. They are 0-1. Played their first game against Ether. It's a tough team to go up on in your first game, I would say. But, they did well in the first half for a while. I think they even led on Ether by 10 or more points for a few minutes. So that was what I saw. They might need some leadership. They don't have a true captain, yet. This was the free agent team, so everyone's just kind of filling each other out. Not too bad for a first appearance. I mean, some of these guys, a lot of these guys have never played with each other before. Some of these guys just met for the first time, on Wednesday. So coming from a little bit of an uphill climb there to try to, especially playing against Ether. But what did you notice from that game?
Just a lot of subbing in, maybe at the wrong times.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're trying to get on the same page, and it's tough when maybe you're taking guys out when you're building momentum at a certain point.
Like I said, it's tough. This was their first time playing with each other. Last season we did a draft league, and it was kind of the same case with people not ever playing with someone for the first time. But at least in the draft league, you knew, hey, I know he's a shooter. I've never played with him before, but I know he's a shooter, or he's a big man, or he's a this, or he's a that. You at least knew the skill type and the skill set of certain players. With this team, I mean, dudes had no idea what the different abilities were. So, you mentioned the rotations. I think that goes back to leadership. I think they need a captain or at least someone to play the captain / coaching part, get the rotations in. I think they need to find out who their starters are. And I think the starters from last game, I think that they did a pretty good job. This team is 11 deep. It's a lot of guys. I don't think you can necessarily go 5 in, 5 out though, because you don't want to sub 5 guys for 5 lesser guys. You need to put them in at the right times. Even in the NBA or college, you hardly ever see a 5 in, 5 out type of thing. You got rotations. So I think they need to get with that. However, on the bright side, they got potential. They were missing a guy, Demetrius Davis. He was a high scorer in his first league last season.
Yeah.
So he'll come back. He'll add another scoring punch. They had a guy show up, with probably 8 minutes left. Could have been a little bit of a different game at least had he been there the whole game. So they do have upside. I'll say that. They have upside, but as of now, they're 0-1, and they suffered a blowout loss to Ether, so we've got them at number 7. Number 6, we've got a surprise there. It's Control Chaos. They're usually not this low. It's early in the season, so, you can't take everything to heart right now, but they are 0-2. They started 2 tough games, I would say. I mean, I guess this season, every game's going to be pretty tough. Everyone's pretty good, but,
every team.
They started with New Star in week 1, and then they had us, Kingdom Come, in week 2. So 2 tough games to start against, 0-2. Will Lombardi's last game, that was his farewell game. So he's moving up north. So best of luck to you, Will. Just to quickly shout you out. I mean, this is the Ultimate Hoop San Antonio legend here. He started with the league and has been through ever since. 14 seasons with Ultimate Hoops here for a total of 103 games. So he's in the 100 club as far as games go. He totaled 734 points, 240 rebounds. And remember, he's a guard. 111 assists, 47 steals, 12 blocks, and most importantly, 2 banners.
Right behind us.
Yep. I'm still bitter from one of them. We went to double overtime. That was a hard-fought game. They
I
they
still
earned
talk
that
about
one.
that game with you.
And they beat And this is a predominantly 281 team. This group of guys goes to the other club, the 281 club. Their second banner they raised was against Lights Out, which happened to be, one of the other teams that 281 put together.
Right.
So, shouts out to Will. Great captain, great person. Good to have you in our league. You built a culture with your Chaos team. I think I call your Chaos team kind of the Spurs of our league. I feel like y'all are, y'all got good guys. Y'all stay together. Y'all have a core. Y'all have a system. It's good to see them every season. So I hope someone takes up your mantle. Tough shoes to fill after 14 seasons, but we'll give it a go. But Chaos, going back to Chaos, number 6 right now.
0-2, huh?
They won't be there for long.
Right.
They're still missing Donnell. He hasn't showed up yet. He's obviously a huge difference maker. They got the new big guy. When everyone shows up,
he was impressive.
And he looked like he might not have played in a few. I don't know how long, weeks, months, maybe. But
he didn't look winded out there at all.
He's a hustle guy.
Yeah, he didn't look tired.
Got several hustle plays, hustle points, offensive rebounds, steals. And I'm sure as he gets his rhythm back, he'll continue to do that. But yeah, Chaos right now, number 6, but don't expect him to be down there, too long. At number 5, we've got New Star. They're 1-1. They suffered a loss against Velvet Thunder last week. They had the game. I think they were up most of the game. They let it slip away just to, and suffered a 8-point loss at the end there.
It was back and forth for the most part.
It was back and forth at the end, but they had a good lead, and I think I think it was their game to lose.
Right.
At the end there, and they eventually, lost it. Just shots didn't go down that should have went down maybe. But shout out to Velvet Thunder for the comeback. But as far as New Star goes, they're 1-1. They're number 5. They've dropped a little bit in the rankings. I think they started at number 3 or number 4 maybe. So not too far down. But like I said, it was a 9:30 game. These guys are usually asleep by 9:30. They get up early and work at New Star across the way. So just chalk it up to a bad game. You don't win all of them. Number 4, we didn't see them last week. Payne. They had a bye. Mm-hmm. They're 0-1. They'll make their debut tomorrow, or not debut. They'll make their next appearance
Get back
tomorrow
on the schedule, right?
Against Outcast. So look for Payne to, have probably their full roster. They were missing a few guys. Shouts out to Abram Gomez, last year's most improved player. I think, he's number 2 in the league in scoring right now with 24 points a game. I think Sean Dockery of New Star is number 1.
Sean's 1.
And then Abram Gomez is right there at number 2. Granted they've only played a game, but still, to go from
keep it up. Keep it up, Abram.
Perennial hustle defensive role player to,
second leading
scorer in the league right now. Right. That's a lot of improvement. Hope he keeps that up. Plus Payne and their new additions, they'll be dangerous. But right now, number 4, like I said, they didn't play last week, so back in action tomorrow. Number 3, moving way up the list. I think they started at the bottom, literally. Velvet Thunder. Like I said at the beginning, every new team, no matter who you are, we got to put you at the bottom. We don't know who you are. We don't know how you're going to play. You start at the bottom of the power rankings, but look how quickly they've moved up. It's week 3, and they're number 3 at 2-0 and undefeated. So great core of guys. They've been moving the ball, passing the ball. Matt Callad's been real impressive so far this season. Leading his team, and statistically at least. And you can see it out there on the floor as well. He's a defensive presence. A lot of switchability on defense, I would say, on that team. And come from behind win. Johnny Azanaro, a light him up point guard, a scoring guy.
He gets his shots off quickly.
He was off most of the game last week, but he caught fire right at the right time. I don't think he hit a shot until late in the game, but that shot happened to tie him up, and they didn't look back from there. So, big time shot. You can call that a clutch play. Velvet Thunder 2-0. They've got us. They've got Kingdom Come tomorrow. So we'll look for that. At number 2, redeeming themselves from week 1, we got Ether.
Yeah,
they're 1-1. They played Outcast last week. They made a statement. I think I wrote in the preview last week. Because I think Devin, DJ, Chris Johnson, I think in week 1 they all had subpar games as far as their standards go. These guys are usually,
Double digit.
Yeah, double-digit guys, high impact guys, and I think all of them were held to single digits, in their first game. So that was uncharacteristic of them. They showed out. I mean, every player on Ether, it seemed, when I was looking at the stat sheet at the end, had a pretty good game. 24 assists, if I'm right. I'm just going off of memory here. 24 assists throughout the team, and it seemed like every player had like 4 or 5 assists. So the ball's moving, the teamwork's there. And not to mention, still no Jaquan Anderson, and they still blew out. They still had the firepower to blow out a team like that. So, Ether is 1-1, but still sitting at that number 2 spot. There'll be something serious, when Jaquan comes back, and they're pretty good already. So, look out for them. Number 1, my team, Kingdom Come, 2-0. Whatever.
It's still early, guys.
I guess
now.
it's my team, so I might be a little overcritical of us, but
right.
I'm not impressed with us right now, to be honest with you. I don't think we have played very well, and I don't think any of our guys have necessarily played very well. I just think we've just grinded out some games, and you need those. You need those. I get that. You need those, but I don't think we're playing well right now. We're just kind of surviving. Yeah, that might leave us at 2-0.
Yeah, but you guys got a big one ahead of you tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a tough test. Well, shoot,
undefeated
every game's a tough test, man. We had Ether, the defending champs, in week 1.
Yeah, you did.
We had freaking Chaos. The always solid Chaos.
Will Lombardi's
they always play us tough.
Farewell game. Yeah.
We had them in week 2, and now we've got Velvet Thunder.
It's
always going to be a game this season. So no one's favored to just go undefeated. I don't think this season. It's a tough league. So yeah, there you have it. Those are the power rankings we've got. Number 1 through 7, based on what's happened in the previous 1 and 2 weeks. Right now, we'll look ahead to week 3. 3 great games. Once again, we're going to start tomorrow with or tonight, depending on when you watch this video.
Right.
At 7:30, we got Outcast versus Pain. Josh, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Pat, look, again, I want to see more out of Outcast, and I did see there are some positive and negatives last week for the first time for Outcast playing together. But I'm going to go with Pain winning this one as far mainly.
That's a safe pick, yeah.
Mainly just because with Josh Linson, he doesn't want to go, obviously. Right. Leave 0-2 coming off a bye week.
They ain't going 0-2. They're too good to be to go 0-2.
0-2, especially off a bye week. They want to play well together. So.
Yeah. In Outcast's defense, shoot, this is their first time in the league.
Right.
Or a lot of them at least.
Right.
They're not planning. I would think they're not planning on losing to anybody. They don't know who any of these teams are. So. Sometimes you see maybe a weaker team on the schedule. You think it's a night off. You see a tough team. You want to make sure you got your whole roster there.
Harder.
So, but they don't know anyone. So they're going to come correct, I think, every night.
Every game.
So, as far as Pain goes, they're going to be favored to win, but expect a tough go. They're not going to. It ain't going to be easy. They're going
to have fresh legs. They'll have a lot of people there.
Got 11 subs to come in, so
right.
Yeah, like I said, they need to get their rotation down. But yeah, Pain's the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Pain should have their full roster tomorrow. Hopefully, at least we want to see them. We want to see how strong they can be. 8:30, Kingdom Come versus Velvet Thunder. What do you got?
You guys, this is going to be our game of the week, in my opinion. So look for a lot of threes from both of you guys. Coming down the second half, you guys are gonna grit it out. I'm gonna go with Kingdom Come coming out with the victory.
Yeah. Appreciate the confidence. Tough game.
But Johnny, I think he's gonna shoot really.
From a player's perspective, you said you expect a lot of threes from both of us. I would correct you and say I expect a lot of threes from Velvet Thunder.
All right.
If you look at us, our team, we get most of our points in the paint.
You do.
So.
Well, I'm expecting you to put some up tomorrow.
one shooter versus 5.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
They're gonna have more of a perimeter-oriented attack.
Right.
While we're gonna probably go down low. On a side note. I don't know if you guys know the news, but we're going to go ahead and break it right here if you haven't heard already. this will be Darrell Norman's final game, not only as a member of Kingdom Come, but in Ultimate Hoop San Antonio. He's taken his talents to the desert. You know, he'll be in Phoenix, so we'll expect him to probably play in some of the Phoenix leagues.
Man,
you know,
you guys are getting a good pickup in Phoenix.
He knows the San Antonio leagues are way better than the Phoenix leagues. You know, so there's going to be a couple steps down, but you know, when you love basketball, you love it. So he'll probably continue to play out there.
Right.
So we wish him luck, but you know, I don't want to put any pressure on you, Darrell, but you know, I'm kind of expecting maybe like a Black Mamba-ish last game from you tomorrow. I'm not saying you got to put up 60, but if you can put up 60, put up 60. So, you know, no pressure there, but you should probably leave, you know, on a good note and with a great game. So,
yeah, absolutely, Darrell.
And you'll probably need, if you're going to score 60, you'll probably need at least 5 or 6 assists to just have a good, complete game. So, you know, if you see me in the corner, you know, I'll help you out there, or at least I'll try to. So, but yeah, Darrell's last game, tough game against Velvet Thunder.
Right.
You know, I'm sure they'd love to be, you know, they'd love to send him off with a loss, but we'd love to send Darrell off with a win. So it's going to be a tough game tomorrow at 8:30. But yeah, at 9:30, we've got another rivalry. We've got Ether versus Chaos. You know, Ether, aka Buckets and Disability Checks versus Chaos. I don't know if you can call it a rivalry anymore, man. Now that Will's gone, you know, he's one of the last standing, you know, core guys of Chaos. You know, they still got Mike High. TJ is not in this season, but he's a core guy. Most of Chaos right now is kind of the new Chaos, I would say. It's kind of like the new wave. If we're calling them the Spurs of our league, these guys are the DeRozans and the LaMarcus Aldridges. You know, this is no longer the Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Parker era. So the same goes for Chaos. I think it's a new wave of Chaos. They're gonna probably start, you know, start a new culture, or hopefully keep the culture up. But they're going, you know, this is a new era of Chaos against pretty much a new era of Ether. You know, B&D's even changed their name. So, you know, age-old rivalry renewed with new faces. What do you got?
Ether Chaos. I was actually talking. Dan Gilbert, captain of Ether. He was here at lunch playing ball at noon with the guys. He's really, really pumped up for this game. He told me. He said, "Josh, I'm coaching him up tomorrow." I said, "Okay, Dan. I'm gonna go with Ether with a win. It will be bigs because Chaos will have some bigs as well.
Yeah.
Am I going to see a Jaquan sighting tomorrow? I'm not sure.
Hope so.
Right.
Hope so. I'd like to see Ether at full strength, see what they look like.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Ether's hoping he'll be there too. Chaos probably could do without, you know. But
exactly.
But we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Another close game. These 8:30, 9:30 games are going to be pretty close.
Another game of a lot of size, and I want to say a system. I would say Chaos has more of a system than Ether does as far as the way they play. You know, you kind of know what you're getting with Chaos. With Ether, they could be a fast break team one night, a half-court team the next, a three-point shooting game, and then, you know, then all of a sudden they're a defensive team the next. So we don't know what Ether's identity is, but we do know they're tough. So no matter what, you know, they're always tough. That doesn't mean to say that they're not eligible to win anything. You know, I would say the Cleveland Cavaliers of the LeBron era didn't have an identity, because one day they'd be a three-point shooting team, another day they'd slow it down. They won the championship, so it's not like
they did win the championship.
It's not like an identityless team. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of hard to scout that if you don't know what to expect from a team night in and night out. So yeah. Of course, we've got a Week 3 preview, but what preview is complete without Josh's picks?
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and jot those down. Going with Game 1, Outcast versus Payne. You did say you expected Payne to win, but we need to know by how much.
It's going to be a double-digit victory, and we're going to go 10.5, so 10-point.
So you expect Payne to win by they're 11-point favorites right there. 11-point favorites, so got that. At 8:30, Kingdom Come versus Velvet Thunder. You did say Kingdom Come. Feel free to change your mind. But
you know, Augustine did say in the locker room earlier. He said, "Don't pick us to win because that gives us bad luck." Okay, so I didn't pick you to win, Augustine. But Kingdom Come is gonna. I'm gonna say squeak this out. You guys are gonna win by 4.
We're going to squeak it out with a 4-point victory. Okay. All you got to do is cover the spread, guys. 4-point victory. You almost always want to bet on the underdogs because all they have to do is lose by less than 4.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't even have to win.
Right.
So, okay.
And our last game of the night.
Ether and Chaos. Who you got?
Ether and Chaos. Dan Gilbert. So I'm going to go Ether by 8.
Ether by 8. So I noticed, and I don't know if this is a
Okay.
trend, man. I noticed
Yeah.
in each game I asked you, you happen to just kind of babble out the captain's name. Do you choose your games based
I
on
like the captain.
On the captain, yeah. It's what it seems like. It's what it seems like. You know, you're like the little girl on March Madness. She's just
Yeah.
sitting there picking games based on the mascot.
Captain,
So
yep.
I like turtles better than I like such and such. So I'm gonna go with them. Okay, well this is a captain mascot
Shout
right
out
here.
to your Husky Yukon.
So we're gonna go with, you said Ether. Should I just change these? Should I just write the captain's name?
Now flip him around.
Should I put Dan Gilbert by how many points is Dan Gilbert gonna win by?
Yeah, go ahead. Put their names down. No.
How many points is he gonna win by?
8.
8. All right. Yeah. 5. Cool. And they're Josh's picks. He's got Pain, Kingdom Come, and Ether. Let's see if he's right. Shoot, what were you? You were
I was
2
off
for
it.
3 in week 1.
one.
And what were you last week?
I think I lost the last 2. I think I was 1 for 3.
1 for 3. Okay,
Yeah.
sounded like a 3-point percentage here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Not a bad get up. Yeah. Like I said, previews should be up on Facebook already. We just gave you the power rankings based on weeks 1 and 2. Shouts out to Will Lombardi. Farewell, Darrell
Darrell.
Norman. Your last game tonight maybe. Make it
That's
a good
right.
one. Watch out for My Corner 3. Will be posted tomorrow. And that's it. See you guys at game time.